Hey, what's going on, everybody? Big J Gleez here, and we got a new little setup here going on. I'm going to actually make some really cool graphics to kind of accentuate this type of display when we do commentaries and talk about things. You'll see over here, wait, is it there? I don't know. It's always backwards with the webcam, but you can see that there are all of the screenshots that EA Sports has released recently for Madden 16. And we're just going to go over some of the things that they released, some of the things from E3 that they talked about. Not all the things, but a lot of the things and the things that I deem as important. As we look through, I have on my screen right now the EA Sports webpage, and I'll link that down below that goes over all of the things that they covered at E3 and all of the new features that they have currently released. So the first thing is a new handoff system. Basically, they redid the handoff system, the way the ball is handed off, the timing as the running back hits the line, as well as the way play action kind of works and is animated. They didn't really give you a lot of detail on that, so it's really something that we're just going to have to wait and see and kind of see how it plays out. But it is interesting to know that they are working on that. That's something that's pretty good, I feel like. I think that's a good thing. The next thing that I'm taking a look at here is QB locomotion, where you can tap the R trigger or R2 button if you're on PS4, and you can roll out or roll to pass with the quarterback. And it says that if you use this feature, you aren't going to be hit with the throw on the run rating. Your quarterback will keep their accuracy, their throwing power, etc. by using this feature, and it works in combination with these new rollout type plays. So we'll have to, again, see how that works. They don't give us a ton of information on this, but they do say that quarterbacks like Marcus Mariota and Cam Newton will offer substantial threats on the ground as well as in the air this year. So it looks like we may see the return of the mobile quarterback being extremely dominant. We'll have to see, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But again, that's something that they don't give us a whole lot of information on, but they sprinkle a little bit on there just to get us a little bit interested in Madden 16. So the biggest changes that I feel are the passing mechanics changes, the catching mechanics, as well as the defensive hot routes, which we're going to cover all three of those things right now. So the passing mechanics, basically you can throw the ball in relation to a receiver's body. You can throw like back shoulder balls, things like that, high balls over top, so you can have the receiver go for a jump catch or an aggressive catch. And that's the other thing. We're going to have different buttons that cause the receiver to go through different types of animations based off of what you press. So you have a rack, which is the run after catch button, which allows the receiver to run. They have the conservative catch, where the receiver catches the ball and oftentimes will hit the ground. And these are all designated buttons on your controller. And you have the aggressive catch, which is very similar, I guess, to like a face catch. In Madden 15, you would get that type of animation where they attack the ball at its highest point. Also on defense, this is what really sparks my interest with this mechanic. On defense, you have the play the receiver rather than the ball button. So you can play the receiver and hopefully get your defensive back to animate in front of that receiver and bat aggressive catches down or intercept aggressive catches that are downfield. The way that the game played previously, when you were to go for a catch or a swat, the defensive player would go to the spot where the ball is going to land. So it really wasn't very advantageous on the defensive side of the ball when going up for a ball in the air. The offense ruled in that aspect, and that's been for years in Madden. There have been ways, if you have really good stick, to maneuver your DB in a certain angle or a certain way to get them to sky up for the ball. But for the most part, it's very difficult to get your defensive back to go up for the ball appropriately. And hopefully this new feature fixes all of that. It wasn't 100% made clear whether you're going to be able to click onto your receiver and catch the ball, but I got some information from some people that I know on the inside that say you are able to click on your receiver and maneuver them in space before you choose whether to go for a rack catch or a conservative catch or an aggressive catch. So that's the word that I got. I haven't seen anything confirmed in writing, but talking to a few people that I know, that basically is understood that you're going to be able to control your receiver. So that's a good thing. That was one of the things that bothered me, was the fact that you may not be able to control your receiver, but from what I hear, you are going to be able to do that, and that's a very good thing in my opinion. So looking on here as well, as far as wide receiver and DB interactions, it says that the team also added hundreds of new receiver/defender interactions and animations. We'll have to wait and see on that. They say that a lot, that they add, we added all of these new animations, yet you see like the same 6, like 7 each year. Maybe there's, 2 or 3 that you see often that are new, they're different. But they always say that they add like 100 new animations, but I never see them. So that's something that I really think we have to wait and see on and kind of see what happens in game while you're playing. Something on here that seems rather useless to me are these shot plays. And it says that a shot play is basically a max protect play with verticals. Play action play, I guess. I guess you're taking a shot downfield. That seems pretty useless to me unless they do something, to make it overpowered in some way. Which I'm hoping that they don't. They could have, DBs act real stupid if you run the ball, 7 or 8 times in a row, and then you run the shot play that has the same play action as the run play. If you remember back to NCAA, they used that a lot. You actually had a gauge or a percentage that would go up. So if, let's say, you ran power O, 6 times in a row, 7 times in a row, and your gauge filled up and you ran the power O play action, the DBs just wouldn't cover anymore. So hopefully that's not where they're going with this. I hope not. But these shot plays, we'll have to see how it goes. Again, that's another thing they don't give us a whole ton of information about and how it actually works in game. But we're going to have to see, but I hope it's not something that ruins the game. That's something that kind of worries me. So something that is really cool to me is this whole new like running back logic. These running back buttons where you can hold RB and get skinny, basically, turn, parallel to the boundary lines and wiggle through, small holes in the offensive line. I think that will prove to make the running game a bit more effective. I also think that smaller running backs will also be more effective. And if anyone has ever, played Madden at a high level, you realize that when you use big backs, it is harder to get through holes. And I think that with this feature, it could go one or two ways. It could make small backs, overly effective, or it can make big backs more effective or equally as effective as smaller backs as getting through the hole. One of the things I always used to use Brandon Jacobs back in the day. I used to use the Giants. I used the Giants for probably 3 years. And Brandon Jacobs would never get through the hole properly. He was so big, he couldn't fit. So that was one of the things that always bothered me about using the Giants. Even though Brandon Jacobs was a beast, he couldn't fit through the hole properly. Tiki Barber fit through the hole real well. So hopefully that's something that, doesn't get exploited and it works properly. If it works properly, I think that's a really, really great thing to add into the game. So on defense, Ball Hawk is back. And it's back bigger than ever. And in fact, they even changed the name of it. It's called Play Ball instead of Ball Hawk. So the defensive player will play the ball. So they're going to go for the ball at, its highest point and try to catch the ball. And like I said before, you have the play receiver. So you have the 2 options, the play ball and the play receiver. And to play the ball, you're going to wind up hitting the Y or triangle button. And let's go down here. We're going to hit the A button or X button to play the receiver. I think that that's going to be a huge, huge addition to Madden 16. I think that's going to really change things. And not only that, you're going to have to find somebody to lab with, especially if you want to do user catches. You're going to have to find someone to lab with and figure out if certain defenses or certain ways to play the ball are going to defend your pass patterns, or, depending on where the DB is, can he play ball from this spot? We're getting like way ahead of things right now. But this is just the way that I think. So this is what I'm thinking about when I read these types of things. So this is something that I'm going to have to go into practice mode. Me and Cyrus will probably be in practice mode like a beast, going over all these user catches and trying to play the ball different ways. And that's something that you should be doing as well. User catching the ball is one of the most integral things in Madden. It's one of the first things that I do. I try to get an effective offense going, see how different routes work against different coverages, see how the purples play, corner balls and curls and things like that. And then I create an offense, and then I try to user catch and how to guard you. That's usually the way that I go about the first couple days that Madden is out. So this could be big. This could be a really, really big thing. It sounds very promising. I'm very excited for this play ball and play receiver feature on defense. Very, very excited. I think it's going to be a great thing. All right, so the last thing, and the thing that I think is really cool, is the quick adjustments feature. So now you don't have to go and like, click on your middle linebacker, and you can't get to your middle linebacker even though you're holding the B button and you're hitting up, but it's like going from your D tackle like to your outside linebacker instead, and then it's going to your safety, and you click down and it goes to the outside linebacker on the other side, and you can't get to that middle linebacker. Well, this is going to apparently get rid of all of that. So you're not going to have to deal with any of that stuff in Madden 16. Hopefully this works out well. The way that it should work out, which was very similar if you played Madden in 02, 03, 04, it had I forget exactly what it was called. It was like player lock, I think it was called, and I would turn it off. And when you turn the player lock off, it would always start your cursor on the defensive end on the left side of the screen for every defensive play. So instead of having your cursor wind up, in random spots on random plays, it would always be at that position. And I knew every single click that I had to make my defensive plays. And it was a lot easier. I could set up defenses a lot easier because I never had to react. Like, oh, where is my icon? How do I get to this player, quickly? So it was a lot easier that way. So I knew it would be like, back then we were playing on PlayStation 2 and Xbox One. So it was, playing Xbox One would say B, we'll hit B, or X three times, playmaker him down, X 3 more times, playmaker up, so it was like a code. Like if you remember back to like Contra and you put in like the Contra code for all of you older players out there, like up, down, left, right, B, A, star. It was a code, you just memorize it. It was like a combo in Mortal Kombat. You remember the combo, and it worked out really well because you can put those combos in super fast, and you can put those codes in super fast once you get used to them. And that's what I used to do in Madden. So hopefully we're able to really utilize this to set up plays a lot quicker. They also have toned down, apparently, the quick hike, so they don't allow you to flip your play and have your offense run to the ball extra fast and snap the ball. So we'll see how that works out. They have continually for the past couple years tried to tone down that no huddle offense, that hurry up offense. They've been trying to tone it down as best as they can. They haven't done a great job at doing that, and it's made the game a bit mindless, I feel like. So we'll see if this helps. I think that it will, but we'll just have to see how the programming works and how the game plays. So as of right now, I'm very optimistic for Madden 16. I think in Madden 15 they made a lot of good adjustments. I think there are some problems with the game though. I don't think it's perfect. And Madden 16 looks to help to alleviate those problems and brings us features that look very promising. So that's where I stand right now. But what do you think? Leave your comment down in the comment section below. Thanks for checking in. It's Big J Gleez signing out, and continue to game strong. Thanks for taking the time out to watch my video. If you're big into Madden, my channel's for you. Be sure to click that subscribe button. 2 playlists that I want to encourage you to watch are my St. Louis Rams ebook breakdown as well as the Buffalo Bills ebook breakdown. You can access both of these in the description below or by clicking the video that's inside the video, if that makes sense. It's a video inside of the video. That makes sense, right? Yeah, it does. Well, anyway, thanks for checking in, and continue to game strong.